Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to the Intercontinental Racing League here in China. And as usual, you'll be used to from last week, I will be joined by the amazing Jess Games. How are you today, Jess?
I'm doing great today, thanks. And we're still part of the Asia series of races. We had Japan last week, and we've got China, and we've got a similar situation to what we saw last week, except that the rain is less heavier. So it's going to be, I think, probably a lot easier. And we've got 14 drivers tonight, but that doesn't mean we're going to be short on action. I'm sure we're going to have some fantastic action today.
Yeah, Jess, I'm sure a few drivers missing, but I'm sure we won't be missing any of the action because these drivers, they're hungry for those positions, and especially the ones here today, I think they'll be fighting for everything that they can get.
Yeah, exactly. There's lots of interesting facts about the Chinese Grand Prix, first held in 2004, the same year as the Bahrain Grand Prix as well. The circuit holds the record for the highest number of overtakes during a Grand Prix, believe it or not, even though there's not many places to overtake on this game. I'm sure drivers can find some cheeky ways to overtake as well. And China's also a track where interesting weather conditions, including changing weather conditions, also happen as well. And if it was like qualifying last week, I'm sure the drivers need to be on their wits' end if they need to go out at the right time. 16 minutes of qualifying left to go. A few drivers that you do not recognise in this lobby, but are known in other leagues as well. For example, GLX as well, who's known in European Racing Series, is actually leading the championship there as well, who usually likes to do a last to first challenge as well. And he's a very quick driver for when I've been watching the stream, so I'm sure he's going to make a mark in this Intercontinental Racing League.
Yeah, you were talking about drivers pulling off cheeky overtakes, and I think one of the most popular overtakes between drivers, just probably because it's the easiest, is down the home, well, not the home straight, down the back straight, very long run out of the sweeping right-hander. DRS will be enabled for the drivers, and down into the hairpin, I think quite a few people will be sending a couple of moves there.
Yeah, exactly. So we're going to go on board with someone on a hot lap in just a second. Actually, let's go on board with GLX. Now, turns 1 to 3 is understeery central. You brake just after the 50-meter board, and after a small dab on the brakes, try to take as tight a line you can heading into turn 3. You want to be going down to second gear in this turn. Definitely in the wet, I have to say, as well. And now you're going through this long straight heading into turn 5 and 6, clicking this right apex a little bit as well. And I have to say, a few people get caught out, I think, during the right-hand bit of this circuit. Some people may have to lift there in the rain, but sometimes I may have to lift there in the dry as well, because sometimes a few people just tend to lose it there as well. Go to that left apex a little bit here, and then moving into the right, 3rd gear, now shifting up into 4th gear. Another one of those long straights, and now you're going to be heading towards one of the main overtaking opportunities very, very soon. No DRS is activated in qualifying so far unless the conditions improve, but the sun is kind of peeking up a little bit. We'll have to wait and see, as we are going to the long straight where the DRS would be activated in the dry as well. And if you have good straight line speed here, you're probably most likely going to do some cheeky overtakes. And going into this long straight here, I think I'm just trying to remember what turn it is. I believe it's between turns 14 and 15, where we probably could see a few cheeky overtakes, like we said earlier. Now, braking, I would say, around about the 75-meter board, going towards the final corner. Be careful not to invalidate your lap around here. And it's going to be a 142.1 for the McLaren driver of GLX. And that is a lap around the Shanghai International Circuit.
Yeah, pretty decent run around the track, was it, for the McLaren driver. Newbie Doo is pretty much going to be the next in line. He rounds the final corner now. Doesn't run wide, but slides the rear end just a little bit. Across the line, it's a 42.9. 8 tenths off the leading McLaren right now. Will anyone be able to get any closer than that to GLX? As we see a couple of drivers making their way across the line, we have Peruna. No one really seeming to be close to the McLaren driver right now.
Yeah, 9 tenths is the gap at the moment, which, believe me, it's very, very impressive. Now, we saw Silly Sly Guy's dominance last week in Japan before Microlander got pole in the last minute, but I have to say, we could see a surprise here today. I think some people may do it to the last minute, but some people may be not showing off their pace till the end, like we've seen in testing earlier on today as well. You don't read the times in testing as well. It was great to see the cars back on track in the Bahrain circuit this morning and this afternoon as well. I was having in the background at work as well. But we got to see how the cars were feeling as well and what the drivers were feeling going into the season as well. But yeah, real life cars on the track. It was amazing.
Yeah, it's good to see F1 back in action. I'm sure it's refreshing for every single F1 and motorsport fan in general. But as we see, a lot of the drivers just making their way back to the pit lane now. Actually, we do have one driver on a hot lap, which is Dimitri. Actually, no, it's not. Yeah, Dimitri's just made his way onto his hot lap. Goes around the first corner, tries to carry as much speed as possible. Fourth, third, second. Goes a little bit wide through the first corner. Clips the apex, though. Keeps it in second. Goes up, short shifts up the third to minimize the wheel spin on that rear end. Up to fifth, sixth, seventh gear into the hairpin. He's going to brake around the 100-meter board down into second gear for the extra rotation. Short shifts up the third. Once again for that traction. Making his way up through the gears again. Now he's going to go what would be a pretty much flat-out corner. But stab on the brake and a lift off the throttle is all he needs in that McLaren, in that Mercedes. Dimitri on an absolute flyer right now. What time do you think he's going to be able to do this?
He wasn't as comfortable as GLX, I think. So probably I would say maybe the low 140, maybe the 143.5, 143.7s. I've got to say, but you never know. Jensen Jensen. Oh, what are you on about? Dimitri will put on, I think, a bit of pressure and probably surprise us a little bit as well. You can see that he was using little to no ERS as well, which strongly suggests that maybe you don't want to run out of deployment when you get to the start-finish straight, which is a common mistake to make. I usually make that mistake all the time as well, but especially in the wet, that is where you got to use it as a bit of a slide there. I don't think it's going to be a competitive lap, unfortunately, as he makes his way through the final corner. And what time is he going to set? At the moment, it's going to be a 143.3. I think I underestimated Dimitri there.
Two temps off. You said a 143.5, you got a 143.3, so you were close, I'll give it to you.
Yay! I was getting there as well, but yeah, he surprised me a little bit, so fair play to Dimitri as well. I've noticed a few drivers as well have gone on for more than one lap on the intermediate tyres, well, since they're not going to be using it if there's going to be a dry race, then you're going to take the gamble as well. And of course, they don't have as many intermediate tyres to use in the weekend as well, so they got to make the most of it. They can't use too much because otherwise they're going to be on worn tyres if it's going to be a wet start or a wet end to the Grand Prix. So they've got to balance it correctly as well, because otherwise they're going to be in a whole lot of trouble. As I think we got Zentric, I think that's GLX who's on a lap as well. I wonder if he's going to go faster than his previous best. His previous best was
I wouldn't be surprised.
I wouldn't be surprised as well. He's a fast driver. Probably, it's going to be a challenge for him being in the top tier, I believe, but I know he can handle it as well. And, we've seen how he's been doing well in ERS as well. So, as he goes off a little bit and he's invalidated his lap. And that is a commentator's curse from Kai Vicini.
From me? You're blaming this on me?
No.
You were the one commentating his lap.
Sorry.
You said you thought he was going to improve. I just asked you the question. Surely you can't throw this on me.
Sorry. Yeah, it's my fault.
No, I'm just joking. Anyways, we do have a couple of drivers preparing themselves for their hot laps, actually. Defoe is one of them. The Alfa Romeo blasted through in the wet conditions. The new Alfa Romeo for this season, may I say, looks very nice. It's pretty much the colours reverted on this season. I'd say it's very clean. It's a clean livery. I like it. The Alfa Romeo always looks good. But in the wet, especially here in China, Defoe looking pretty comfortable with the car right now. We saw a dash of purple for Sector 2. So it's looking pretty strong for Defoe right now. Will he be able to touch the times of the 141s that GLX is in right now? But no one else is anywhere near Defoe. Making his way down the back straight now. This is where DRS would be enabled in the race and lots of drivers would be going for overtakes. But just has to pick his braking point for the hairpin. Well, looks like he's going to go for the beginning of the curb, also known as the 100-meter board. Gets on the throttle as early as possible. Tentative with the rear end. Defoe around the final corner now, uses the curb on the inside, doesn't use too much of the outside, doesn't want to invalidate. He's going to go and cross the line. It's a 143.234. Dang it, no one can get near GLX.
No one can get into the 141s. No one
Maybe
can.
The track's just getting worse.
Yeah, it might be as well, but it's. I think the rain is still the same. You can hardly see it on your on the stream, but I could definitely see that it's pretty much the same as the start of the race. I think it's a lot lighter in some places, but in some places a little bit more slippier as well. Everybody else is on a outlaw. Apart from this guy, Newbie Do as well in P3 in the Racing Point. Another car that looks good in the livery state of things for this season. We're going to be calling him Aston Martin in the F1 2021 game. But for now, we're going to call them Racing Point. He was purple in Sector 2. I wonder if it's just a game talk telling porcupines or if it's actually true. I hope it's true as he comes towards turn 13 and... how's that not an invalidation? How's that not an invalidation that he went off? I think he may just slow down a little bit. That's probably why the game did not count that as well. So GLX as well. I believe he's gone faster. Yes, he has gone faster.
Yep.
140
1/10 faster than his previous time.
Yeah, 141.6. You know, he's a fast driver on this game for a reason. He's not going to be doing a last to first challenge here, at least. Nobody comes across the line. Can he get even closer to Peruna? Yes, he does. A 142.6, but still a second behind GLX, who is currently in P1.
Yeah, GLX absolutely dominating the field right now. I don't think there's anyone that can get anywhere close to that. I was going to say Racing Point for a second. No, I'm completely mixing up my cars today.
So am I. And drivers.
I'm in a state. I'm going to say... the McLaren car. I think that's right. Yes. GLX and the McLaren absolutely dominating the field right now. Something to mention, the other McLaren driver on an outlap, but he's also spun into the wall. So that's not the best start to a run, I guess you could say.
He's got no damage though, I don't think, has he? Or it might be end play damage, I don't know.
No, he went backwards into the wall.
Oh, that's all right then. So his wing remains intact, which is good news, which means he should be able to go out again as well. Hopefully, he hasn't done anything to his tyres. Well, we got to keep an eye on the front lefts, I think, in qualifying and in the race, because that's the ones that tend to overheat if you're on the wheel, and the rears as well. Maybe if you're on like any pad or any wheel or something like that. That's what I found as well. And I think the drivers are going to be relieved if the conditions stay like this, because they get free choice of tyres for the race, and the softs don't last very long around here, so I assume not many people are going to touch the soft tyres.
Yeah, I don't think many people will touch the soft tyres. Jess, I'm going to hand over the commentary to you for now, as my game has unfortunately crashed, so I'll get into the lobby as soon as possible, and I'll be right back with you.
Okay, luckily I'm the one streaming and not Kai, so
yeah,
to be fair, it's it could be one situation. We see more people invalidate, I think, in the infamous turn 13 at the moment. So whilst we get Kai back in at the session, we're going to find some more people to go on board with some laps with as well. And I'm actually going to try and find the standings up on my screen as well, so we can go through that as everybody makes their way into the pits. Peruna did a good job last week, as he's currently in P4 right now, looking to get better than last week, I have to say, but I'm sure he's probably looking confident and probably going to perform better in China. So if I could just scroll down to the I'm trying to find where the standings are, but I can't find them. It's probably somewhere, but I just can't find them. There we go. I think I found them. I'll have a look for them in a second. But whilst we do that, Dragon, let's hope he does not invalidate his lap time, as he's currently through, what corner is it? It's through the middle of Sector 2. I think he's usually fine when it comes to these south corners, but I think he's going to struggle a bit more going into the third sector. I think it's going to be where he loses more time. So we'll go through the order of the standings of the people that are here. So Jay is leading with 101 points. Then who's next? Defoe's in fourth with 51. Anyone else? Wazuk is in ninth with 27. Dimitri is in 13th as a reserve on 10. 14th is Nublu on 8 points. 15th is Phil on 8 as well. I'm trying to find who else is. I thought Wisp was racing. Oh, Wisp scored 1 point. this season. Yeah, Wisp scored 1 point this season, so he's currently sitting in the reserve list in P23, and I don't think Dragon's actually going to go on a lap. Yes, he is. He's finishing a lap. He's not invalidated. What lap times are going to be? 1:42.8 puts him in P7 at the moment. Everyone's going to go out again for one final run. Newbie Joe, I believe, is on another run as well. 12/100ths better than his previous set to 1, so he's looking a little bit quicker as well. But no one, I think, is going to beat GLX as well. But you can see, I'm just going to go on board with, the rain's still coming down, so I'm guessing that the conditions are still the same, but a lot lighter than it was before. So I think that's where the track evolution is going to be, I think, the most important for all the drivers here today, as Newbie has invalidated his lap time. Ryan, one of our new drivers today, has retired from the session. I'm just trying to see if... So GLX is going through set to 1 now. And Jesse is going through set to 2. Everyone's got, I think, most people on laps at the moment, apart from the likes of Jay, Phil, Dimitri, and Zentric. I think I will get these names right, I promise. But anyway, so I'm just looking at the tyre data as well for today's race. Sauce clearly lasts 7 laps, so that is going to be a danger for the drivers if they want to use the softs in any part of the race. Hards could last 21 laps, mediums could last 16. Again, we'll go through more about strategy as we head to the end of the race. And as soon as Kai gets back in the session, he can let me know, because it doesn't tell me when people join the session for some reason, which is a...
No, I'm having some issues getting back into the session, but I'll make sure to notify you as soon as I'm back in.
Okay, good. And if not, you can watch your stream, and
we'll do that.
We'll have to end up switching roles for this week only, which, to be honest, I'm used to doing the lead in other leagues as well, so it's not entirely a problem. So 50 seconds left to go on the clock, and we've got Wisp, who is on a 1:43. Everybody has set their lap times at the moment, with Dragon was the last to set a lap time, currently sitting in P7 as well. There's been many battles that happened in China in the past. We saw Nico Rosberg take the first win for Mercedes back in 2012, and it was the start of things to come for the Mercedes team. We saw Michael Schumacher took his 91st and final Formula 1 victory here ahead of Alonso and Viticelli back in 2006. And quite a lot of things also happened as well in league races, which I remember, where there was one where you could hardly see anything in China, which hopefully doesn't happen today. Wisp comes across the line in P11, 1 lap old into, so I'm guessing he's going to go again. So we've got a few people about to finish off their laps, and the checker flag is dropping. So let's go on board with Perona, who is about to finish his lap. Purple set to 2. Newbie, Jensen, Dragon, and Malone, they won't be able to set any lap times because they crossed the line, or they won't have time to finish it. I believe Wazik comes across the line as well. We've got a Williams driver, I believe it's Jay. So let's go on board with Jay as he heads towards... Oh, nope, it's not Jay. It's another Williams. My bad. It's Zentric, who is coming towards the final few corners now. Let's see what you could do in the Williams car for today. Comes across the line. Looking really good, actually, for him. It's hardly any rain at the moment. 1:42.8 for Zentric. Aww. What about the... I'm just trying to see what about the Red Bull driver of Peruna. Let's see what he could do. Comes across the line now. 3 tenths quicker. 1:42.7 for him. What about Jay? Jay heading towards just past turn 14 and 15 now. And he's got a McLaren behind him as well, so we'll keep a close eye on GLX as well, or Dragon, or whoever it is. So Jay comes across the line. Could he get pole? No, P10. Wow. GLX 141.395. What can this man not do? I thought we were going to have less dominant people in this league, but it looks like we've switched one with another. GLX, you can take a bow here. GLX is on pole position for today's Chinese Grand Prix. And I think that's everybody that's finished a lap time. We're just waiting for people to go into the pits, or are we? I don't even know. I literally don't even know right now. Oh, it may be Wisp. I'm not paying attention. Oh, you're back in. Just in time, eh? Just in time. But anyway, Wisp will be the final person to finish lap. No, he's not. He's going into the pit. So, yeah, GLX will be on pole position.
I don't know if you've noticed, but between P13 and P15, 3 positions is separated by 0.003 of a second.
Wow. That is insane between Malone and Phil, who is in last place, and Jesse in 14th. That's going to be quite a good battle towards the back. I know it's for the back, but usually the back provides interesting battles, I have to say, in league racing. Defoe? Oh, where did Defoe come from? I'm sorry. I didn't see him there. Defoe? P2? What?
That was a very good lap from the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, he's looking good, I think, for this race, but he's got to forget about the pressure and concentrate on the race ahead. And we're just waiting for Wisp to retire, and we can get into the session to finish off the race. To start the race, I mean. So we've got GLX on pole. We've got Defoe in second. I believe it's Noobidoo in third. As we wait for, it is Noobidoo in third. Zench, so we got GLX on pole, Defoe in second, Noobidoo in third, Zentric in fourth, we got Ryan in fifth, Razak in sixth, we got Jensen in seventh, Peruna in eighth, we got Dragon in ninth, JR Championship leader in 10th position, and we got Dimitri, Wisp, Malone, Jesse and Phil rounding up the grid. No invalidations. Everyone managed to set a lap time, which is good news compared to last week, and we're all set for the race ahead, and it's going to be an interesting one.
Yeah, this is going to be a very interesting race. I think there's going to be a lot of action, especially if the conditions stay the same, but unfortunately it is. Actually, not unfortunately, good for the drivers. It's going to be dry for the race here today. Well, I mean, dry always provides good action, but it's never as tense.
Yeah, because the races I like in China is either the dry to wet races or the wet to dry ones, because you never know what strategy they're going to go on to, and the drivers on tender hooks as well. So, I think I like these type of races in China. If it's just a dry race in China, usually it's not the most exciting, but we've seen in F1 esports, even if it's dry, they still provide some great overtakes. So not always lost for Intercontinental Racing League as we're about to get into the session. Free choice of tyre, don't forget, so they can start on whatever tyre they want, because qualifying was on the intermediate tyres. So we're going to get into the formation lap as we check the tyres at the moment. Wow, no one's on the soft, thank goodness. We got the top 9 on mediums. Jay and Dimitri and Phil on the hards, and we got Wisp, Malone and Jesse on the mediums as well.
Well, I mean, what did you expect? The softs around here there's no tyre life from those soft red compounded tyres. Mediums hards is going to be the strategy, or hards to mediums for those alternate strategists out there.
Yeah, I think if I was them, I would definitely do that, but they've got to prepare for late safety cars maybe as well, because it is quite common on this track as well. But yeah, if they were to do the softer hard strategy, I'm going to put that to perspective. They have to pit lap 5. Lap 5 to 7 is where they'll be pitting. Mediums, they can pit laps 11 to 13. So, yeah. And that is a big contrast if you're starting on the softs. So someone has taken the brake and marker balls. Hopefully that comes back in the race. But I'm going to get my predictions now before Kai asks me, because we didn't actually ask for our quali predictions, actually. We didn't ask for quali predictions.
We didn't? Oh, I'm so sorry.
I'm gonna say I'm gonna go for a GLX win, Noobidoo second. I think Jay likes this track, so I'm gonna put Jay in third. What about you, Kai?
I'm gonna go completely different. I'm going to go unorthodox. I'm going Jay for the win.
Ooh.
I'm going GLX second. Then you know what? Because he's a lovely guy and he invited me to the lobby, I'm putting Wazik P3.
Yeah! I think a lot of Wazik fans will like that in the chat. Let us know your predictions in the chat as well of who you think's going to win as well. Who you think's going to get second, who's going to get third. Who's going to make the most positions? GLX.
GLX, that was interesting.
GLX, I hope you don't do that in the race, my friend. As everyone is going to make it on to the grid. And I'll hand it over to Kai, as per usual, for the start.
Oh, thank you so much. I feel very privileged to be starting this race. As the drivers just make their way onto the starting grid, they're getting themselves prepared, getting their last minute changes on the car, getting their engine mode ready, and also their ERS prepared for the start of the Shanghai Grand Prix. We have the final Ferrari lining up in the background, and very soon we will get underway. It's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 red lights. And it's lights out and away we go in Shanghai. It looks like GLX has got to a very good start. He's absolutely gapped the field. Defoe caught lacking on the inside. Newbie swings around the outside. Wazik in P4. He's looking for that position. But Entric, he's not backing out at all. The AlphaTauri still up the inside of the Williams and manages to gain the position. It looks like Ryan up into P5. And there's also Dragon and Peruna side by side. Looks like the Red Bull will have the inside line, but will the McLaren back off of it? Jay in P10 up the inside of the Renault Jensen. Jensen not giving up his line at all. It looks like the Williams will have to find a different place to have a look.
Looks like everyone's made it through cleanly so far. Great battles on the opening lap, I have to say. But Jensen May's going to, I got to say, Jay's going to try and find a long way around, which he's going to try and do. Almost hits Jensen. As Jensen has dropped down to P11 now. Hopefully there's no damage from the Renault car, but looks like the Alfa Romeo, as the Alfa Romeo spun, there's huge contact, pile up at the back, huge pile up. Malone, I think everybody in the background, yeah, safety car, that's to be expected, but lap 1, well, the turn 1 to 3, fantastic. Sector 2, meh.
Nah, I don't think that's fair to say. It looks like the Alfa Romeo of Wisp got hit in the background. I'm guessing they've also got overtake glitch because they're going very slow in the background as well.
Yeah, I can see that at the back, actually. That's a very weird glitch for the game to have, but let's hope it does not happen for the rest of the race. Now, I think majority of the guys will stay out. I'm sure they won't be going on too hard or anything.
Damage.
Unless it's damage, yeah, of course. I think I would say Malone, Jesse, Phil, Wisp, and Dimitri, I would have to say. And we've got Zentric that's dropped position, or is it a timing glitch? I don't know. I don't know what to believe it. Nope, it is a timing glitch, I believe. As Jensen, Malone, Jesse, and Phil are in the pit lane for damage, as of course they will, because that was a huge pile up, and I think that would have been red damage. I'm surprised not one of them retired.
Yeah, I'd say that Wazik's doing an amazing job up in the P4. I'm definitely saying this AlphaTauri is going to win this race. No, not win P3.
Podium. Yeah, I agree. I said that last week and people complained at me, but I'm going to say it one and only time. Wazik's going to get a podium without a shadow of a doubt, or you can get closer, or maybe 4th. I would say 4th. I'm going to play it safe as well. But
no, it's going to be a win.
Ooh. You know, Wazik, I don't think Wazik's won a race this season. So this could be his first ever win. And I'm sure this will be something that he was not expecting. And the guys have been told by the stewards to make sure that they keep good distance in the safety car, not hit each other, and obviously keep to their delta, because if they go too fast in the safety car, they will be penalised and obviously cause another pile-up, which we don't want to happen, which means the safety car could go on for even longer. Jesse's the only driver at the moment to get a penalty. Everybody else has none so far. Even if some of them did have penalties, they served it in the pits when they got damaged. I think a few had I think 5-second penalties due to a collision, so not sure if that could get removed, but we'll have to wait and see. As the Haas are not good in terms of safety car, because they've only had a few, I would say few sets of running, so the hard runners are going to be in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, I think Wazik very much looking for a podium here today. The hard runners looking in a little bit of trouble. It looks like there was 4 drivers at the back of the grid that had to serve penalties and also get a fresh wing in the pit lane. The only driver with a penalty right now was Jesse, and I think that was for all.
Yeah, I thought he would have picked it, served it in the pit lane, unless it was for 3 seconds. So let me get the spectator menu and check that. Check the penalties. 5 seconds. Oh, did he not serve it in the pit?
Yeah, it may have been after the pit lane.
Wait. Oh no. I'm just trying to see, is Jesse's tyres updating? Yeah, I swear he's been on tyres for more than 0 laps. That's a glitch that's been at the start of the game. And it fixed itself.
No, everyone's changed tyres.
I know everyone's changed tyres, but it still says 0 lap tyres for me, for Jesse. And so is Malone and Phil. But I'm sure they pitted a lap ago, not now.
That's weird. I mean, we'll keep an eye on it, but I don't think that there's anything wrong.
No, I don't think so. Hopefully it'll fix itself when either they next pit or when stuff like that
Wazak podium?
Wazak podium as Defoe has gone off.
Defoe spun under safety car.
Do you know that who reminds me of ones who binned it in safety car?
Who's that?
George Russell.
And why is that?
Imola, because he retired in the safety car. So at least Defoe got off a little less lighter as well. But let's see if he. Oh, I can't tell if he's got damage there. But anyway, the safety car is in this lap, which means GLX will effectively be the pace sitter for between now and the start of the next lap. No one can overtake until the start finish straight. GLX will control when to accelerate, and when GLX accelerates, then that is the cue to go. So it's up to him, really. So let's see how they do it. Yeah, Wazik up to 3rd. Centric also had a good start. Dragon up to 6th. Jay up to 8th. But, you know, there's some people that have had really horrible races and need to have a comeback, I have to say.
Yeah. GLX is going to be leading the pack.
In the grass.
You can see him hold. Oh, yeah. You can see him holding the throttle, preparing, and it's going to be flat out now. GLX plants his foot. Newbie Doo already knew what was happening. Only a tenth behind him. Wazak, don't count out the AlphaTauri, right on the back of the racing point, which is pretty much. It looks like Wazak's looking up the inside. Will he be able to make him move? No, he catches the grass, but he has to back out of it.
Yeah, we got a move in the midfield as well. We got Peruna trying to go on the left-hand side, but Wisp there. Wisp also having a good start as well due to him picking not much damage at all. As Peruna then is going to probably try and go for a move on Dragon too, but we can see the McLaren of Dragon is not making it look easy as well. We can see probably Jay maybe going into the middle of that. There's just so much action happening in the space of a few laps, and all it takes is a safety car to bring a lot of people into this mix as well. I wouldn't have thought these guys will be a lot closer to each other and make overtakes like that. If I make overtakes like that, I usually end up spinning or end up going into a wall. So they have done very well. And it looks like the tyres have sort of fixed itself, which is good news. As Jensen and Dimitri are going for a battle in the background for P10. No, did Jensen go for a spin or did he lose ground? No, he lost ground to both Dimitri and Phil there. So what a shame. He is struggling at the moment, but there's still a lot of this race to go and still a lot of positions to be gained.
Yeah, a lot of drivers having a very good safety car restart. We see a couple of lockups going into the hairpin. Looks like the tyre module was pretty much fine. Peruna, as he said, making his way past Wisp. And it looks like Jay's going to make his way past Wisp as well. The two drivers side by side. The Williams, will he be able to make it around the outside? Try to go up the inside into the final corner. Didn't manage to make a stick. Malone with a 3-second time penalty. Looks like Dimitri's going to try and get involved, but he is able to fend off with the Alfa Romeo.
Yeah, and speaking of the Alfa Romeo, Whispers ended up into a half spin. Luckily, no damage there as he tries to fend off Phil in the Ferrari. Phil's like, I'm having none of that. I want to gain that position if you made that mistake, which he does. But look at Wisp, though. He is forgetting what he just did and wants to focus on the rest of this race. It's very, very tight entry into that corner. Can he make the move stick? That's going to be the important question. We got the Renault not too far behind as well. Look at the Ferrari. The Ferrari is closing the door there. And some good defending from Phil as Malone's dropped down to 14th once again. So Defoe is making his way back up the field too. But Phil having a very good restart as well. And he's trying to make up for lost time too. Don't forget Phil started near the back of the grid. So Phil is doing very well for himself.
Phil doing a great job right now. He did start at the back of the grid. The Ferrari driver, as he said, making his way up into P10 right now. as the drivers start to space themselves out a little bit as the race goes on. Still a lot of battles going on. And who's out on the inside of the track? That's Phil trying to defend from Dimitri. Dimitri around the outside. Will he be able to hold that? No, he won't. Ferrari driver of Phil manages to hold his line. DRS is enabled. This is where things start to get spicy.
Bring it on. Usually it's enabled in lap 3, but since there was a safety car, it usually comes out 2 laps after the safety car comes in. And this is where it's going to be people putting the hammer down. As I would say, it is hammer time for every single driver involved. That's Defoe and Jensen going side by side into the twisty couple of right-handers here. And we can see Defoe is not giving up without a fight, like I said. And we got Jensen, who has not had the best starts this race, wants to fight back too. Defoe's only got 22% of ERS to use. What about Jensen as Jensen tries to hold off to the right-hand side of the track? Did I see damage from someone? I did see an end plate missing from someone. It's Dimitri actually who's lost it.
Dimitri's completely off.
Yeah, that's, I think, is his front wing gone?
I'll have a look now.
Oh, no, it's a spin. Oh, it's just a spin.
No, he has got an end plate. Front right end plate is missing on Dimitri's car, which is unfortunate for him. But obviously he'll have to get that car recovered and back to the pit lane for a fresh wing if he's feeling like he wants to. So let's see what happens.
Yeah, hopefully he can come back. So that was the I thought it was a Renault end plate that was missing from Jensen, but it turned out to be from Dimitri. But there we go. Anyway, Defoe's about 1/10 behind Wisp now, and we're getting a very bad camera angle, so I'm going to switch it. As Defoe looks to the right, Wisp stays to the left, he goes, and I think Wisp did the right thing, staying to the left there. And we've got 2 of the Alfa Romeo teammates very, very close together now, which is great to see as well. Hopefully they'll be working together, but we're looking at the gap up front as well. 1.7 seconds is the gap between GLX and Noobidoo, so GLX is not dominating that much, but at least he's showing that he is the man of the race so far as we head into lap 7. As Dimitri goes into the pits.
Very nearly takes off his wheel on that wall.
He does, which is a shame there, but we're seeing, I think, Wazuk is gonna... I think Wazuk will take advantage of the situation. We've got a yellow flag. I believe that's Jay's teammate, Centric, that lost a bit of ground there.
He's lost a lot of ground there. Doesn't look like he's got any damage. Looks like his wing's intact, but Eccentric lost a lot of time there somehow.
Yeah, no damage though, thank goodness. Ryan's got a penalty added to his name, so 3 seconds will be added to the end of the race. We'll keep you up to date on how many penalties people get in due course, so do not worry. So we know how your favourite drivers are doing, and GLX found 1 second in one lap at the moment, so he is on fire right now. I think Noobidoo's struggling because look how much Wazuk has caught up to him.
Yeah, he's caught up a lot. Wazuk absolutely flying right now. Noobidoo under quite a bit of pressure, and no pressure that GLX is feeling though.
Yeah, GLX wants to impress on debut, and he's definitely doing so far, but it's not over until the checkered flag falls. You only score points at the end of the race, not at this point. So, to be honest, you've got to focus now, not make too many mistakes, do not get any penalties either, because I've seen a lot of people get penalties here, and that could ruin their race if there's any more safety cars or any more close battles when they go on to fresher tyres, because the majority of people will be going on to the hards in a few laps' time for the remainder of this race. This race has flown by so far, which is good news. I'm liking this race action. We've got some battle at the back as well. Don't forget Malone and Jesse were very, very close in qualifying, and they're very close in the race too.
Yeah, very close in the race indeed, just like they were in qualifying. Something to mention as well is the 2 Alfa Romeo teammates. We saw Wisp and Defoe get caught up in that collision earlier, but now the 2 Alfa Romeo drivers, will team order come into play, or is it going to be every man for himself? We will find out soon.
Yeah, I wonder. I think because it's not that latter stage of the championship, I think they won't be doing team orders yet. But if one person is ahead of each other in the championship, I think Defoe would probably be the one that'll get preferential treatment compared to his teammate because he's the one further ahead. So, meanwhile, we got two Williams teammates. No team orders there by the looks of things. As Cendric was trying to get a move on Joe. It looks like Joe's going to get a move on Cendric, I think, as well. Going side by side. A bit of a slide there from both of them. I've seen people run off wide there in the final corner. There'll probably be a warning there. Meanwhile, we got Peruna and Ryan making a move. Peruna up into fourth. But let's go back to the Williams battle. I don't think Jay's close enough on this section of the track to give it another go. But maybe in another portion of the track he can do it as well. So we've got the two Alfa Romeos fighting for P10 and we got two of the Williams fighting for P7.
Yeah, the two Williams fighting for that position. Eccentric, we saw him lose all that time earlier, but he's trying to gain back as much as possible. Jay, though, he's not going to let it go that easily.
He definitely is not. I mean, Jay, I know he's a racer at heart. He's not gaining as ground as I would have liked, but to be honest, Jay wants to do the alternate strategy. China, if I could name some of the tracks where the alternate strategy is OP on this game, I would have to say China's one of them. So if Jay could pull off some very good in-laps towards the end of his stint and then be on fresh and mediums towards the end, he could gain a bit of ground at the end and possibly challenge for maybe podiums. I'm still predicting that Jay's going to probably get top 3, maybe even top 4 or 5. His hopes are not over yet. So he's being patient at the moment. He knows a few of the drivers will have to pit around him. Defoe and Wisp are fighting again for P10, and I think Defoe has the edge there as GLX sets the fastest lap of the race. But look at that, Wisp is fighting back in the penultimate few corners. Is this going to be the move of dreams for the Alfa Romeo driver? No, it is not. I think Wisp will have to stay behind, but his chances, he's going to get a second chance now. To the right-hand side of our screen he goes, into turn 1. Can Defoe close the door? He's got to, really. He's got to keep his line. Wisp got to try for the switchback, but you've got to be careful not to slide into each other or even slide a tour around here, because otherwise it could be race over. But Defoe, he's defending for his life here, and it's P10 and still in the points for the Alfa Romeo driver. And we seem to have lost Kai for some reason. Is he muted or something? I don't know. Or it might be me. I'm not entirely sure. But we got a yellow flag in sector 3. It is Dimitri, I believe, that's lost it in turn... Looks like turn just the middle of turn 15-16. So Dimitri will come in, and that's his right front wing completely got... Oh, and he hits the wall there as well. I think he's given up. Yeah, he's the way he's positioned himself, he's given up and he's DNF'd, and let's hope he does not cause a safety car. Let's not go on board with him because that's his AI going on top for some reason, but there we go. So, lap 11 now, and in a few laps' time, we'll see a few other drivers go in into the pits once more for their first stop. Apart from Jay, he'll be going on just a little bit longer on these hards. So make sure you keep listening to the rest of the stream. And you can see Wazik again at 5 temps. I think the dirty air is probably the reason why Wazik can't get the move done on track at the moment. But you can see that it's starting to... I wonder if it's starting to cloud up a little bit. Maybe it might be the reason as we've got another yellow flag. That's Wisp, I think. Yes, it is Wisp who... had a bit of an issue. It might be someone else, I don't know. As Wisp is now into last place as Jesse gets past. That's probably a bit of damage there. So, yeah, that is damage. Maybe a little bit end plate, but he's still going to try and go for the move anyway. So, he challenges and goes up into 13th. Jesse does as Wisp goes down into last place. And I've just got a message from Kai, and his Discord voice chat has died. So, unfortunately, that's why you won't be able to hear him. So, I literally just checked my Discord now because I'm on my phone. So, he just got me for the time being for the rest of the race until he comes back. But I'm seeing Wazik's tyres are definitely in much better condition compared to Noobidoo. I mean, You know, I think Wazuk has been saving for the moment. You've seen in the first few laps, Noobie-Doo being a lot quicker than Wazuk, but at the moment, this is where Wazuk is quicker. And Jay said to me last stream that he did not want to pick up a penalty. Guess what? He did pick up some time penalties. And he's on a 3-second at the moment. The top 4 are completely penalty-free at the moment. Will they be able to keep it that way towards the end? Luckily, I don't ask the drivers what the weather's going to be like because I like to leave it a surprise to you and a surprise to the viewers. But I did notice it was nice and sunny towards the end of the... Well, it was really sunny at the start of the race. And it's clouded over in the middle. Are we going to see rain? Are we going to see rain? I have here we would. I've seen it in a similar situation. I was jeffing for someone in China. I think it was either last week or the week before, where it was similar to like this. And we had a debate on whether starting on the mediums or the hards were the best option. And to be honest, it's a bit hit and miss. Like, maybe starting on the hards would have been the better option for us, but we took the gamble starting on the medium tyres. But, you know, it is starting to be sunnier again. So it may be the threat of rain that is not, you know, that we thought it was going to happen, but unfortunately it is not. Which is a shame, because I wanted something different for the broadcast. So, bit of a shame there. And it looks like it might be Kai's internet that's playing up because he can't get into the lobby either. So we are seeing the pit windows open a lot earlier than I thought. I thought it'd be like 11 to 13, but a lot of people leaving a lot later because obviously they were on fresher tyres. So they can go later. Jay goes in and to the pit lane. That is a lot earlier than I thought for the championship leader. So let's get on board with him. I want to be picked up damage or if it's a strategy call. And for the undercut, I do believe the mediums can go to the end from here. So Jay comes in and there's no damage. And yes, it is a strategy call. I thought he would have gone out. I thought he would have stayed a bit longer, to be fair. But he's staying. He's going. He wants to be on fresher tyres compared to everybody else. And I'm just trying to see how many laps we've got left. 14, 15, 16, 17. We've got 15 laps. So, hit and miss, I have to say. The tyres are going to be dead towards the end. But we know Jay is good at tyre management. We've seen Jay do crazy strategies before. So, we'll see. I think Jensen Malone have got to do the same thing. And speaking of Jensen did pick up a time penalty as well. 5 drivers yet picked up time penalties as well. I would say if I was GLX, I would pit now because he probably saw that Jay's probably gone in. Maybe he hasn't seen it at all and he's probably going in for one more lap. But GLX goes in. Will Noobie-Doo go in? I think Wazuk will probably follow Noobie-Doo in. No, they don't. They stay out. I thought they would have followed GLX in. I'm just looking at the pit lane loss as well around this track. It's around about, let me have a look. I don't have it written down. 17 seconds is what you lose in the pits. So, yeah, undercut's powerful. So, has Noobie-Doo and Wazuk made a mistake? I think they have. I think GLX's strategy has worked wonders. And he's got to try and get past some traffic now. And if he doesn't get past traffic, he's going to be in a lot of trouble going towards the end where Jay's going to be on faster tyres. So we're going to see Jesse still on the back of Malone as well. I thought they would have gone for the mediums too early on, but they haven't. I wonder if they'll be doing that in the next couple of laps. I think they will, potentially. So we're almost halfway into this race now. Well, lap 14 will be 14 laps to go at the end of this one. I think that's another warning for Malone. I think there'll be another penalty as Jensen tries to hold on to P7 like no tomorrow. Like, he's probably helping his friends more than anything. But surely, if you're on a different strategy and you're on fresher tyres, surely you want to get past the one that has to pit as soon as possible, which GLX does that. And meanwhile, Noobie-Doo, Wazuk and Ryan and Dragon They dive it in to the pit lane. And they're going to be going on to the hard compounder tyres. Now, the question is, what is Newbie Doo going to be doing? Thinking is, I think GLX is miles ahead. GLX is miles ahead of Newbie Doo. It just goes to show how the undercut's powerful around here. So, that is dangerous territory as well. And due to the traffic that Newbie Doo and Waz have got in front of them, that's going to be a little bit of an issue. I think, to be honest, GLX's win, I think, is going to be pretty much confirmed. But never say never. We've seen quite a lot of surprises here at the Intercontinental. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Intercontinental Racing Series. And Kai needs an invite to the lobby. I did not know that. So I'm going to be quickly sending an invite to Mr. Kai Pacini to see if he can go in. I should have sent him more invites, to be fair. So hopefully he can go in. So I only just caught that a few seconds ago. I should check my Discord more often, but I don't. So hopefully he comes in shortly. As we can see, GLX under pressure from Phil. Again, traffic, but that should be easy pickings for him, which he does. He will soon be in the lead. And I think that's Phil's response to pit. And I'm telling Clyde I've sent an invite. There we go. So hopefully he can join back shortly. Unfortunately, the game does not tell me when people go in and join, which is annoying. And I can't tell people disconnected either. So Phil's on the mediums. So I believe Jay and Malone. Everybody else on the hards. Peruna is the only driver still to pit. A bit of a weird strategy, if you ask me, for Peruna. But I wonder if he's going to do the strategy that I did in China many moons ago, which did not... I still talk about it to this day because it's an absolutely ridiculous strategy. Even though it started raining, I decided at this point, around about lap 17, yeah, the best strategy will be to go on the soft. Turns out I didn't know how long the softs would go on for, so... yeah. Never trying that strategy again. Let's hope Peruna does not learn to... well, hopefully Peruna learns from that and he goes on to the hard tyres. Because if he goes on the softs, he's going to be in trouble. So Peruna... and he only realises that it only lasts 17 laps. He's going to be in trouble, I guess. And you can see GLX in the same camera shot too. Meanwhile, we've got Ryan going on the inside of turn 14 and 15. There we go. Ryan's going to come back on Centric. And Centric up to P7. Jay, I'm surprised on how Jay's doing at the moment. He's not finding the time of day to get past the ones on the harder tyres. So could this be the sign where Jay may lose out some ground in the championship? But he's got a good gap anyway, so no harm done, because his nearest championship rivals are not even in this race here today. So no matter what he does, but it's a chance for him to gain an advantage. And we are on lap 70-28, and I'm seeing if Kai's back in the Discord. I think he's having trouble with Discord at the moment. I will check, because I'll check my phone actually. And if my phone decides to not behave itself, that would be great. Kai's in, so I believe Discord has had quite a lot of issues at the moment. So I believe it's the same issues for Tier 2 as well. I assume it's only just the streamer that can only commentate, which is frustrating, to be honest. So it's annoying, but sometimes you get races like last night it was Steam, yet today is Discord. So, and Defoe's gone and retired from the race whilst I was trying to sort that out. So where did he go? I think he may have retired and had a spin. I'm not entirely sure. So that's his race over. A bit of a shame. I wonder if he got collected somehow, but we'll find out, I think, later on in the week. Ryan doing ever so well for Dragon, but I think, let me just have a look. So GLX is net P1, and we've got Nubidoo, Wazik, Centric, Dragon, Ryan. So he may have lost it a little bit there, as Defoe lost it in turn 6, I believe. I'm surprised there was no safety car. Meanwhile, Nubidoo trying to get past traffic. I think Wazik as well. This is going to be game on for Wazik. Wazik's probably even closer to what he was to Nubidoo for a long time. Wazik's shot of a podium is definitely not over as he heads towards turn 13. The OS straight now, this could be where it's won or lost for him. And I think the straight line speed of Nubidoo is probably what's gaining an advantage. And unfortunately, we're going to have to lose Kai Bacchini, as Discord is not playing ball at the moment, and it's not liking people in this party. So we may not have interviews tonight, which is a bit of a shame because I like to do interviews. As we are on at the final third of this Grand Prix, as Jensen goes into the pit lane. And no, Jensen on the soft tyres. Nah. Jensen, nah. There's no way the soft tyres can last 9 laps. He's made exactly the same mistake as what I did in a race on F1 2019. Jensen. That's why these guys have got to do research in terms of strategy for this race. And according to that, Flyer did 11 in a league race, no safety car. So maybe with the patches that came on, because the last time I commentated on a league race around China was ages ago. I think it was like October time, September, October, and you know, there could be someone that pushes it. But if you save it, you could do enough. But if Flyer could push 11 laps, you know, but... oh, and the track was cold. Okay, the track was cold, so it's understandable. But if it's hot like this, they're going to be in a huge trouble because the front rears are going to absolutely kill you. So, lap 20 or 28 now. GLX leads. Peruna's still yet to make his pit stop. Peruna, fair play to him for making his tyres last so long. Way past the sell-by date. I will have to probably update my tyres because it's probably a little bit out of date on how long these mediums could last. I wonder if they're on 80% at the moment. Because there's different ways to look at things. There's some people that can push these tyres on 80%. Absolutely fine. But there's people that, like me, that if you get your car to 80%, then your tyres die and you're in a lot of trouble. So, and it also depends on the setup as well. So, many positions to be gained in this race and different strategies as well. Who is going to be the one that benefits and who's going to be the one that fails? We'll have to wait and see. GLX, look at the gap between GLX and Nubidoo right now. 12.9 seconds is the gap. Meanwhile, Centric and Jesse. Centric comfortably gets past him. Centric on the fresher tyres. No harm done there. Centric is up into 5th position. And Jensen is also on the back of Wisplen. Surely it should be easy pickings for Jensen as they make their way between turn 14 and now heading towards turn 15. Malone with the switchback. Look at that. Malone. I think Malone is probably going to benefit more at the end of the race because we know that Malone's tyres could definitely make it. I think Malone's played the much safer strategy compared to everybody else. But we'll see how Jensen's tyre... I would like to see, actually, how they fare. But we will have a look towards the end there of this race. But anyway, Farina goes into the pits on the soft tyres. I'm still questioning when it gets to the end, but if Farina could push the tyres 19, 20 laps on the mediums, then he could push 8 laps on the softs. So I would like to say best of luck to him, I would say. So GLX is definitely now your race leader. And I've heard word as well, I've heard sources that those tyres can make it. So I think I don't think I've done a league race around China on this game. So I've done it in F1 2019, but I've never done a race around China on this game. But unfortunately, with the season I've got on Friday nights in a few weeks' time, as Jay actually gets past Ryan on the fresher tyres, and he does it with ease at the moment. And there we go, Peruna. Peruna's fighting back as well, but can Ryan hold on to the position? He does not. And you can see the delta is definitely different, much faster. I think Peruna's got past Jay as well. And Peruna, if Peruna makes his strategy work, he's going to be on cloud 9 at the end of this race. But if he does not, so I'm just looking at the delta. Delta is 7 tenths between the softs and the mediums, 1 second between the softs and the hards, 3 seconds between the mediums and the hards. So that's to put it into context. Peruna could go on for fastest lap as well. And I presume that the safety car... No, not safety car. Sorry, what are you on about? I believe that they will get a point for fastest lap. That's what I was trying to say. But yes. Let us know who your driver of the day is so far. Who has performed to the best of their ability. So far, Wazuk could be on course for a podium. He's still looking really feisty. But we can see Peruna and Dragon going side by side. DRS activated for the Red Bull driver. Dragon on the left-hand side as well. Heading into the hairpin of turn 14. Can Peruna keep his line? He does. Peruna's up into 5th place. And his next victim, his next target for attack is Zentric in the Williams. It could be easy pickings for him due to the delta, the 1 second delta in fact. And look at that, Peruna does have drive on, has the fastest lap at the moment. And we're going to go on board. We haven't got any more onboard shots at the moment. So we'll see how this works. And, I mean, Peruna could be on for driver of the day as well. Centric, I think, having better cornering speed. Entry to the corners as well is looking spot on for the Williams driver. Peruna doesn't want to be held up too long because his tyres are going to be hot like crazy, as I would say. He'll be feeling hot, hot, hot. And I have to stop with the puns, I have to say. But there we go. And let's get the outboard shot at the moment. Not far until the end of this race. GLX leads from 13.5 seconds. Wazuk and Nubidu 5 tenths per second now. I'm just waiting for the moment. Wazuk's got the gap to 3 tenths now. I don't think it's going to be quite enough. But we'll see. Peruna's got, I think, past Zentric maybe. But look at the McLaren, the Dragon too. And I'm sure Zentric is going to fight back because I know the driver he is. He's talented and he wants to get in as many positions as he can. Don't forget, he does also have a penalty to his name, which means he is going to be in huge danger, losing out quite a bit. I think he's only going to lose 1 position because Dragon has got no penalties. And my question is, can Peruna get the gap that he needs to get past Wazuk in the next few laps? Or will his tyres... Or will his tyres would have cooked it? We'll have to wait and see. I'm just looking at the other battles as well. Dragon's on the back of this as well. You can see Centric's probably struggling a little bit more than him, and Dragon on much newer tyres as well. The Delta will be a lot different as well. Jay. I don't think Jay's getting the ground needed, unfortunately, to possibly gain a podium finish. I was the one that predicted Jay to get P3. And he's not. He's in P7 at the moment. But he could be the one that benefits from other people's mistakes. There's still quite a few more laps of this race to go. And Peruna just picks up a penalty. That could allow Zenji to be back in this one. And we're going to look at the penalties situation as I almost pressed the wrong button. As we got Jay and Ryan then side by side into turn 3. Yellow flag in centre 3. That is, I believe, Wisp that's gone off in turn 15. Ryan just about holding on there. Can Jay cut off on the exit? It's going to be hard for Jay. Tight little hairpin coming up. And he just about edged it there. Jay's tyres must be cooking due to the fact that he's been stuck in some battles for quite a long time. Ryan doing ever so well to try and defend too. We are very excited to see how this race is going to end. I think it's going to be too late for a safety car to emerge from the drivers. But we got a yellow flag again. That is, I think, Wisp. And that is two of the Alfa Romeo drivers retiring. It's a shame that the retirements are not popping up on the screen, sadly. Which is annoying. I'll probably have to fix that. But there we go. Lap 26 of 28. 3 more laps to go. GLX starts lap 26. And he could go a bit slower towards the end now. And he could still win this race. But the position still to be decided is Wazuk. P3 right now. And could still be on course for P2. But Peruna could be catching, so you never know. This could be a very intense fight for the podium. Not much has happened for the last few laps or so, but we shall see how this goes on towards the end here. And I don't think much is going to change, to be honest, apart from the penalty situation. I am going to be leaving it like this. I'm not going to be getting up the penalties up on my screen. Ryan just picked up another one. That might have brought Jay back into contention of staying in P7. I think this is probably where he's going to be at best, I think, at the moment. Whereas I think Ryan may drop down to 10th, I would say. The Ferrari driver. So much is going to happen towards the end, I can tell you that right now. I think Wazuk I know the way he drives. He's probably saving it until the very last opportunity. But let's hope he nails it. And, because to be honest, I don't want a driver to be like, let's do it the final lap. Because if you do on the final lap, you only get one more chance to do it. So he's got to do it now, ideally. If he does it now, he's going to be the one that's probably going to be under least pressure. But we'll see. You never know. We could see more penalties. I'm not checking the penalty. I'm not checking. What am I not checking? I don't even know. But there we go. Five tenths is the gap now between P3 and P2. But all we know is GLX is on fire for his first debut win in the Intercontinental Racing Series. He's been driving like a machine today. He has led from pretty much the start. And there's been battles going on behind him. And he didn't even have to look back. But Wazuk, again, not close enough. He just gains it into turn 13 and 14. But he just loses a bit of time in every other part of the track. So let's see what Wazuk does on the final lap. Final lap he goes. Could he go for the launch? He's got to go for the send now. This is going to be intense for him. But again, maybe just finding time. Maybe just waiting to be patient. But he's just 3 tenths of the gap. He's got nothing to lose by... Like, he's still going to get a podium. And the more that these two are battling, Peruna could be 4th place. But the top 3 have no penalties anyway. So Wazuk will probably keep P3 anyway. So again, he does have nothing to lose. And you're starting to see Peruna's tyres being overshot. So I think Peruna's probably realising mistakes. Jensen, 8 lap old softs. Let's see what Jensen's tyres are looking like. Not too bad. He's still keeping it under control, but Malone is catching. Well, let's keep an eye on the battle for the podium now. But I do believe we've got GLX not too far to be taking the win on track. So let's go on board with him. Wazuk using his overtake. I don't think he's going to have the edge. So I'm not going to follow him. But GLX comes across the line. He wins in China for IRL. For his debut race. Congratulations to him. But what about the podium spots? I don't think Wazuk is close enough to get P2. But I'm sure Wazuk's going to be very happy with P3. Nobody P2. Wazuk P3. Peruna comes across the line on track at least in P4. And Zentric P5. Dragon in P6. That was very close towards the line. 55,000 separating the gap between them. And what about Jensen and Malone? Side by side in turn 15. Now heading towards turn 16. Can Jensen have the edge here? Jensen's tyres have probably had enough. But due to penalties, Jensen gets P10. Malone gets P11. And Jesse gets P12. I think there's been more battles at the start of the race. But, you know, most of these drivers kept it calm. They kept their cool. And they kept it collected too. So, your race winner. There was a McLaren driver that did it last week in Japan. In terms of Michael Landa, GLX did it in style for him in China. I'm sure Michael Landa will be very, very proud. So let's get your results in for the Chinese Grand Prix. GLX wins from Newbie Dew, from Wazuk in P3, 6th to 3rd. Incredible stuff. Peruna from 8th up to 4th. Dragon from 9th to 5th. So these 3 are definitely contenders for Driver of the Day, but I'm going to try and find it hard to decide which one. Centric in 6th, Jay in 7th after starting 10th. Not the races he would have liked. Phil in 8th, Ryan in 9th, Jensen into a final point score in 10th. And then Malone and Jesse rounds up your finishers, and then your retirements with Defoe and Dimitri. And I think quite a few people, if I asked you to pick a driver of the day, quite a lot of you would go for Wazuk. I'm torn between Peruna and Wazuk. And maybe Dragon as well, but I have to say, I have to go to Wazuk. He had a very good start. Took advantage of the safety car. No mistakes as well. No penalties. He kept it calm and collected as well. I would have to say Driver of the Day has got to go to Wazuk. So there we go. That is my Driver of the Day. And we are going to be... let's hope Discord works to see if we can do some interviews. So I'm going to go on to the intermission screen. Hopefully that shows up on my end, which hopefully it does. Yes, it does. And we're going to see who is wanting to come in. So I'm going to have a look very, very quickly. I know Wazik would want to interview as well. Looks like Discord is working though still. So I'm going to close the game as well. Just so it doesn't lag me towards the end there. So hopefully we can get in at least one, maybe GLX, maybe Nubidu as well. But obviously it's not compulsory for these guys to go into some interviews. If they don't want to, it's fine by me. I'm not really that fussed. We got someone waiting in the tier 2 waiting room, but not in the tier 1 one. So I'll just give it a couple of minutes, and I'll need to actually double check what race we are in next week. Usually I ask Kai, but Kai's not here. So I will have to check the calendar. And we are at Singapore next week. I should have remembered because Kai told me earlier on. So yeah, we're on Singapore next week. Singapore, the longest tracks on the calendar. Most of the races I commentated had rain-affected races. And it's a test for endurance. And I've done a 50% race around Singapore last week. Luckily it was dry, but your shoulders definitely hurt, I have to say. So I think it's going to be a test for all of them. Looks like nobody wants to go in for interviews, sadly. So we're going to have to wrap it up. And knowing me, as soon as I wrap up the stream, people will be waiting in the interview room. So, yeah. Or it may look like Discord may be having a mare at the moment. So, but we don't know. Yes, we're still doing interviews, Josh. So if Wazik or anyone wants to go in for interviews, they need to be quick because I'm about to wrap up the stream. Right, there we go. Wazik is in. Wazik is in. Let's drag him in. Let's drag him in. So, luckily, I think I've got the voice chat still enabled. So there we go. We got Wazik in our podiums, one of our podium sitters today. Tell us your thoughts.
I mean, it's a bittersweet feeling, honestly. I was following Newbie for the entire race, basically, and I was planning those final lap results for a long time, but just couldn't make the tyres work at the end. So, but hey, it's still P3, good points, and finally my first podium. Yeah,
I mean, you had to work for it. You were very close last week before you got quite a few penalties on the board, which was a bit of a shame as well. But tell us about your qualifying, because it was another wet-affected qualifying. Were you happy with your performance?
I mean, the wet weather on this game seems to be suiting me, considering I didn't do any practice in the wet, but was still P6 with about 10th to P2. So, yeah, I mean, performance-wise, I can't complain, really. The gap is so tight. All of these guys are really quick drivers. So, yeah, I'm happy with my performance in qualifying.
And at the start of the race as well, you saw that the safety car came out as well. What was your gut feeling, knowing that some of your rivals were struggling, and what was your thought process going into the safety car restart?
Just try and get as close as possible to Newbie on the restart. Don't get caught out. And by them going, we saw the lead. I can't remember his name, but it went
GLX
very slowly, so that it allowed me to catch up to the back. And then it was just to just get into the plan again, try and follow Newbie for as long as possible.
Yes, which was very, very hard. It looked like in some laps you almost did it, but you just didn't have the straight line speed by the looks of things as well in some corners. But you still P3 is a massive effort considering you didn't get any podiums there. What does that leave you for next week when we head to the longest tracks on the calendar, Singapore? First of all, do you like it? And second, what are you going to do to carry that momentum over to next week?
Yeah, firstly, Singapore, I'd say when I'm on my day, is a really nice track for me personally. So I'm kind of looking forward to it. It's not Vietnam. I'll just have to prepare myself mentally and hope for a good result there to be able to carry it over there. And of course, podium here today gives me some confidence really that I can still be at the top.
Yeah, so we got Vietnam after Singapore, I believe, as well. But two of the tracks I don't like. But we'll see how the drivers fare next week. Best of luck for that, and well done on your performance tonight. You should be very proud.
Thank you, Jess.
Right, so I think that's it, unless Noobidoo wants an interview, which he does not by looks of things. So, oh yeah, he does. He does. There we go. Noobidoo, second place. We'll bring him in. Noobidoo, that must have been an intense fight with Wazik towards the end of the Grand Prix. Tell us how does it feel for you to keep that P2 from Wazik?
It was very good considering I only had about 8 points before this race, so a P2 was not really expected, but I guess with half the field missing, a bit better than I was expecting.
Yeah, she had a good qualifying as well. Unfortunately, you didn't have the edge on GLX there. When did you when did you realise that GLX was out of the picture and your focus was on keeping that P2?
I think his first lap of the session, he went about a second quicker than I finished on. So I think I realised very quickly that I was not getting anywhere close to the lap that he did. But I was just focused on getting second row.
I've asked the same question to Wadik as well, the safety car. Were you expecting it so early on? Were you expecting a safety car at all?
I was worried about a safety car in the middle of the race because that could lead to more pit stops and drama and soft tyres maybe for other people, which go on different strategies. But I wasn't worried about the first lap safety car really because no one's going to be able to pit for tyres then.
Yeah, and it didn't affect people's races apart from the one to pit for damage as well. And, I
know Dafoe behind me spun under the safety car.
Yeah, I did see that.
So I was P2 and he was right behind me and he spun on like the second or third lap behind me. So that took a bit of the pressure off. It was one rival.
Yeah, as well. So yeah, you started the race on 8 points and now you're going to get more than 8 points. You're going to get pretty much double that, I believe, if I did my maths correctly.
18. Yeah, going to get another 18. We'll be up to 26, hopefully.
Yeah, that'll be closing up on the championship quite nicely. Are you going to keep on trying getting podiums next week and maybe into the Singapore and Vietnam? Because this is the two races in the final two races of the Asian part of the calendar. How confident are you in those two tracks?
I mean, I'm not a big fan of Singapore personally. I've not raced on it that much, but if I can get a bit of practice in, you never know.
We shall see. Best of luck for next week and well done on a P2 there. Very solid effort from you.
Thank you.
So, do we have GLX in the interview booth? Let me just have a look. So I have so many Discords. No, we don't. So, we're going to have to wrap up the stream there. So, thank you guys so much for watching. Unfortunately, Discord did not play ball for Kai Bacchini, so he wasn't able to join me for the remainder of the session. But it's fine. It's fine. What can you do? Sometimes we had to play ball, and it was a pretty good race on the whole. But for some people, they have to pick up the pace a little bit going into next week when we head to Singapore. So thank you so much for watching. I'll be back next week with Kai. Hopefully Kai's Discord will be fine again, and hopefully he'll be able to commentate for the whole race. And we will see you next week, same time on the Intercontinental Racing Series Twitch channel at 7 PM UK time for the Singapore Grand Prix. I'll let you enjoy the rest of your evening, and I will see you very, very shortly. Bye-bye.